everyone, what's the story? It's Everia. Okay, so yes, I've got my glasses on again, so I'm going to be doing more Reddit stuff. I'm actually at a shout man and I've just realised I've not put my rings on, and I feel weird not having my rings on. So as soon as I've done this video, I'm going to rush out and put my rings on because I just feel weird. These are from the Reddit subreddit creepypasta. And this one is called The Crooked Man. And it's a poem, and it's very short, and I actually read it. But it's kind of like, it's I don't remember all this. I only remember the first part, but I don't remember how it went dark. 1 second. I don't remember how dark it went, but it starts off, and like I said, the first verse is the first I remember. There was a crooked man, he walked a crooked mile, he found a crooked sixpence against a crooked stile, he brought a crooked cat, which caught a crooked mouse, and they all lived together in a little crooked house. But the crooked man was sad, and once he had a thought, why should he be crooked when others they were not? So the crooked man set out to make a crooked earth. Crooked man and crooked women buried in a crooked dirt. And the crooked man stepped forth and rang the crooked bell. And thus his crooked soul spiraled into a crooked hell. Murdered his crooked people and laughed a crooked laugh. You people all must suffer, all on my crooked wrath. That is eerie. Like, I don't remember the real poem. I mean, like, we had some really dark poems when I was a kid. Like, we had I'm telling you, we had some really dark poems. London Bridge is falling down. Ringa Ringa Rosie. And what was the other one? Oranges and Lemons. They are really dark poems if you read back into the history of them. I don't remember the Crooked Man being that dark, but I'm actually going to go back now and research. I mean, Humpty Dumpty, it's only a couple of past few years I've actually realised it's never actually said in the poem that Humpty Dumpty's not an egg. So yeah, I'm just kind of like, what did I read or sing when I was a kid? You know, just like things like that. I'm just kind of like, ooh, got chills by that. That's insane. I am going to go over and research that to see if I can get some backstory on that, because it's actually really interesting. Let's see, that was very short, so let's see if we can find another one. Okay, this is called I'm the Night Watchman at Landfill, and it is by Opinionated IMO. On the surface, the idea of an security guard for thousands of tons of trash is ridiculous, right? I wasn't sure why it would require a watchman at such a god-forsaken place, but I needed a job, and it paid well. There were several reasons for the high wages. First of all, the stench is both constant and overwhelming. Anyone who's ever been to a dump knows that hideous smell. You honestly worry that the stink will follow you home after you leave. It obviously does. Luckily, I have a poor sense of smell, and I don't mind showering twice a day. Even then, I have to wear nose plugs while on duty. The other reasons were never disclosed to me, but believe me, they became readily apparent later. On my first day, I was shown the ropes by the daytime security guy. He showed me where everything was in the office and explained what my required duties were on the grounds. As darkness approached, He seemed quite anxious to leave. I assumed that was because it was a frigging garbage dump. No mystery to that. But later, I realised there was more to it. Considerably more. I had nightly paperwork to fill out. I was supposed to make 2 full walking rounds around the premises during my shift. Derek, the day shift guy, seemed visibly nervous when he walked out. He hesitated for a brief moment and told me to call if I had any trouble. I didn't get the chance to inquire what sort of trouble I might have. It's not like it's a bank, for heaven's sake. It's a stinking landfill, and the facility is closed to the public at night. There weren't any deliveries. I heard Derek's tyres squeal in the gravel parking lot when he left. All of a sudden, it was just me and countless acres of rotting garbage. When the sun went down, what issues could there be? Scavengers? There are plenty of people who bring in 2 bags of household trash and leave here with a carload of found treasure. Those people are gross, but they seemed harmless enough. Every landfill has scavengers who dig through mounds of refuge, but that would normally occur during the day when the gates was open. I went back inside to escape the burnt out of the stench. The entire waste management property has a 10-foot tall raised wire fence surrounding it like a prison compound. It was hard to imagine anyone scaling it at night to shift through piles of discarded garbage, but Derek clearly knew something I didn't. Even more bizarre was that I was required to possess a firearm licence. Just the thought of possibly having to prove my marksmanship against crazy rednecks and savage hounds made me very uneasy. Why would the property owners care if some ghoul came to the dumpster drive? It didn't make sense. I rationalised that it's probably due to an accident liability issue. The insurance policy had to cover daytime incidents of people getting hurt during official landfill hours. But at night, when the gates were closed, it was a lawsuit waiting to happen. Still, why would I need a licence for concealed carry? Was I supposed to fire a warning shot at anyone trying to break in? I would have expected them to explain their concerns and security policies better. Obviously, Derek wasn't one to go into great details as he tore up the parking lot. I figured I'd just try to keep a cool head and deal with any terse situation that came up with common sense. On my first circuit walking around the compound that night, I noticed something very odd. The barbs at the top of the fence were all pointing inward. It was at that point. If the point was to keep people out, that was going to be much less effective. Fortunately, the smell lessened a bit after the sun went down, and it cooled off, but trust me, it still wasn't like walking through a rose garden. I heard shifting and various creaks within the nearby piles of trash. Obviously, there's thousands of mice and rats living in infested filth, but the noises I heard sounded much larger animals. I knew snakes and scavenger birds would be drawn to this place as rodents or insect hunting ground, but I assumed most of that occurred in better light. Sounds of garbage shifted, and piles falling over was unsettling. A few times I directed my flashlight beam in the general direction and it would stop, at least momentarily. I saw plenty of angry red eyes in the debris, but I wasn't about to interrupt their nightly routine or confront them. That was their home. Live and let live. It's going to be zombies. Zombies. I'm calling it now. Zombies. Back at the office, I sat down and recorded the time on my rounds. Even with the AC running, I could still hear the piles of trash falling over in the distance. Obviously, it was a bustling metropolis for night creatures that lived there. Neither Derek nor the man who hired me warned me about any of that. I shrugged to myself. Wasn't a big deal. I knew that any kind of place that Malador would attract a plethora of un-American inhabitants. Despite my convenience services, the sound started to irk me as they grew more frequent. Some seemed incredibly close to the building too. I gazed out the window at the enormous hills of squalor and what. A single security light shined over the first few hundred yards. I caught the gleam of a tin can rolling down around the debris. The reason for the movement wasn't obvious at first, but I assumed rats or other animals were bursting around the surface just as I was about to look away in disassembled interest. The objects at the top of the pile began to shimmer and shake. I pulled up a chair to witness what I assumed to be a golfer or Norway rat. Instead, a human hand breached the surface and shot skyward. I told you! Zombies! I couldn't even blink at first. Not only did the hand and arm wriggle free of the tangled debris, but so did the owner's horribly mangled head. If that wasn't shocking enough, seeing the rest of the body took the cake. My jaw dropped in disbelief. This person was clearly deceased. It had to be. Even from a distance, I could see several bullet wounds visible. I was witnessing the reanimated corpse rise from the dead. Obviously, the garbage dump was not a sacred ground, and the corpse was very restless. Like a light bulb going off, I finally understood why I was required to carry a gun, and why Derek was so anxious to leave. All of a sudden, another corpse started wriggling free of the trash. The first one was almost out of its makeshift burial plot, and seemed intent on heading for the fence. In all, I counted at least 5 well-dressed bodies in the debris. They all looked nearly dead. Someone was using the landfill to get rid of people they didn't like. I didn't know for sure, but the Italian race management family who owns the property seemed like they might know who these undead corpses were, and how they'd claim to be there. Even I wasn't dumb enough to ask any of them about it. Instead, I grabbed my pistol and an extra clip. I needed to finish what hadn't been handled properly before. It was sensitive, undisclosed part of the job. The next morning, Derek arrived and came into the office to place me. He had a very relieved look on his face. When he saw the things apparently went okay for me during the first night shift, I told him I had to shoot 5 rats. He nodded at the subtle code. Then I told him where they were buried. We both knew that if we didn't want to find ourselves on tons of debris, we needed to maintain the facade and do our jobs quietly. Some days I have to shoot at least a dozen rats. Other days are slow, and they are only a couple, but I've come to accept my job with the landfill organisation is a permanent one. I can't say the way zombies. That was actually a good story. I don't normally like zombies. I'm not a fan of Walking Dead. I don't like anything to do with zombies. But that was, I think, because it was pretty obvious what was going to happen. But it was like zombie baby, yum 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 kind of thing. Yeah. I'm going to do a couple more of these. Like I said, this one was a really long one because I had to put 2 together. But yeah, I'm going to look up a couple more of these because I really like them. But for now, I'm going to say love you lots and lots of jelly tots, and I'll keep it wicked weird. Bye. See ya.